The centre has sought help from private sector, healthcare chains and industry bodies to vaccinate all 1.3 billion people in the country against the COVID-19 once vaccines are produced. The Economic Times reported that the National Expert Group on Vaccine Administration for COVID-19, headed by Niti Aayog member Health VK Paul, has sought views of industry bodies including Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry, that is FICCI, and Confederation of Indian Industry or CII, and private hospital chains on functioning models or other funding models for vaccination. The meeting held earlier this month explored how the private sector could be involved in covering the population in the shortest possible time. While the government is planning to use its network to vaccinate priority groups including frontline healthcare workers and senior citizens, it would not have the staff to cover other vulnerable groups like the economically weaker sections. The government has sought opinion on two issues: the funding model if private sector chains are used to vaccinate the poor in cities and in rural areas, and the investment required once vaccines are made available in the open market. In this edition of COVID-19 India Fights Back, we will analyze the participation of private sector in vaccination. Joining me on the program today are Dr. Alok Roy, Chairman, Health Services Committee, FICCI, and Chairman, Medica Group of Hospitals; Dr. Bishnoy Panigrahi, Group Head, Medical Strategy and Operations, Fortis Healthcare; and Dr. K. Madan Gopal, Senior Consultant, Health, Niti Aayog. Thank you to all my guests for joining me on this edition of COVID-19 India Fights Back. All right, Dr. Madan Gopal, let me start the program with you first. Clearly, the government is heading in a direction where it's getting ready to get some kind of a vaccination and then getting into a mode of trying to ensure that how we get this or work on the delivery aspect of the vaccination. So what's on the agenda really right now?
One of the things is that the government is committed to ensure that there is an equitable access to vaccine to all the citizens. We can look at the commitment which has been made from the Red Fort on 15th of August. Soon after that, there was a constitution of a National Expert Group on Vaccine Administration, which is overseeing all the vaccine aspects, right from distribution, who will receive the vaccine, who will be the priority groups, which vaccine would be procured, and how to involve that. The question here is that how to involve the private sector, because while the government is making its efforts to see that the priority groups are inoculated by July 31st of July 2021, but a lot of challenges are there. If you look at the example when the pulse polio immunization started, way back in 90s, in the mid of 90s, when this immunization started, we were grappling with the issue of having National Immunization Day, where the Rotary International, they were chipped in, and the other organization, they came into picture. As a result, that has become a successful. Now, we have been able to eliminate this polio from our country. Apart from that, that was only for children. Now, the challenge here is to inoculate the adult population as well, because first of the priority groups is the adult population. And across the world, inoculating the adult population is a big challenge. The private sector can play a very, very important role. One of the areas which they can do is the cold chain, because we don't know which kind of vaccine will require which kind of cold chain. If it requires a minus 20 degrees or minus 70 degrees, then there is a role for the private sector. And they have to map and quickly say that these are the cold chain facilities which are available to us, and the support can be extended to that. Apart from that, since one of the overlying principles of this COVID vaccination, proposed COVID vaccination, is that the routine vaccination services should not be hampered. So as a result, what happened that when the routine immunization is going on, we have to find out how this COVID vaccination will happen. For that, we require a lot of capacities in the form of vaccinators, and here also the private sector can at least give them capacity, saying that these are the number of vaccinators who are available with us, and
Sure.
can help the government in that. The third thing is there has request saying that the corporates, the employees and their families, because if they don't fall into the priority groups which have been told by the honorable this health minister and the member of the chairperson of the expert group, we have to find out if they come up with a pro, then we have to say that how they can procure the vaccine, from where they can channelize the fund for the employees and the employees' families. So that's an area where they can always look into that.
Absolutely.
Channelizing funds, the government is committed to provide all the vaccination. The central procurement is going to happen. And apart from that, there will be some sections of the population, as you have mentioned, they need to be covered, in which the private sector can be of immense help in that.
Okay. All right. So let me take the discussion forward now. Dr. Alok Roy, as far as the private sector is concerned, how can the private sector contribute as far as, vaccination, we go forward with this vaccine? Because let's not forget, it's a mammoth exercise, 1.3 billion people, something that has not happened before, something that has not been done before. We are going to take this on, on a war footing. So clearly, we need all hands on deck.
Mr. Pereira, thank you very much for inviting us. Let me one thing tell you very clearly, that private sector is as much required as the government is required. And we would do everything within our control to ensure the dissemination of vaccination. Every stakeholder of FICCI, every hospital, private hospital, which is with us or also not with us, but exists in this country, will come forward to ensure vaccination. We will train the host of doctors, nurses, A&M, paramedics, technicians, pharmacists, phlebotomists. We will create 1,000 of workforce which will inoculate people. They will do it in the hospital. They will step out, do it in the community. They will do it wherever government requires us to play that role. As you see very clearly in this pandemic, the role which private hospital has played is enormous, especially in taking care of a critical ill patient. Most of the critically ill patients in the ICUs are parked in private hospitals, and they have risen to the occasion. So let me reconfirm and reiterate. We will go to any extent to ensure that we inoculate the people in shortest time, and in the shortest time to the maximum number of people. Few points I'd like you to think of. That you need to provide us which is stable. We cannot go to the extreme of -70, -80 degree of storage. That may not fly because we don't have the kind of capability. But if it is -2 to 8 degree, refrigerated, if the vaccine is stable, it can stay out for 12 hours in the non-refrigerated environment, in the room temperature. With the winter coming in, our applicability of vaccine is much, much higher. We have, each hospital can contribute 300, 400 inoculators, doctors, nurses, technicians, pharmacists, various people who are paramedical, who are available to us. Each person can do up to 80 to 160 inoculations a day. That kind of capability with each person exists. So if we provide you 1,000 people from one hospital to be available over a period of a week, we can multiply by 160. So we can do 2 lakh inoculations in a week's time. So that kind of support from one hospital is available. Each and every chain, whether it's a Fortis, whether it's a Apollo, whether it's a Narayana, any hospital chain in the country is willing to come forward and inoculate and help government in inoculating the masses. Remember, the private, the healthcare, 60 to 70% with the people who pay out of their pocket for the treatment. So when you are inoculating have-nots, also remember the rich also have rights. They also need to come up in a proper place where they need to be properly inoculated. So we should have both options existing, those who are not able to pay and those who can pay. Both should be taken care of.
Absolutely. All right, since we are here then, Dr. Bishnu Panigrahi, this issue of channelizing of funds, getting the right kind of funds, because we have to carry out this mammoth exercise, that too is going to come up, quite often, and that too needs to be addressed at several levels. As far as private hospitals are concerned, what is it that the private hospitals are willing to do? How do we go about getting, this behind us and getting this through?
So thank you, Mr. Pereira, for calling us for this. And as you rightly mentioned, there was a meeting with the person heading the COVID task force, Dr. Paul, and with our members of the FICCI. So whatever the private sector is going to do, it is going to be under the umbrella of FICCI, CIA, and we will work in tandem with the government. We will be partners to that. And on the funding part, to be honest, the modalities have not been decided on how it's going to be done. But in the back end, we are working out on how we can sort of complement the government to see that we can inoculate, whether it's the people who can pay out of pocket, the people who are insured, and also the have-nots, as Dr. Alok rightly mentioned, because we have to take out these boundaries between public sector and private sector healthcare, because health is common to everyone. So we are partners in this. How the modalities have still to be honest, has not been worked out. But in the back end, we have started an exercise on how do we sort of have our infrastructure in place, how do we have a manpower in place. And one thing which Dr. Alok rightly mentioned is training, because you have to train the people properly, and we have to set the expectations properly. In the sense, what I mean to say is that how many can you inoculate per day? So each healthcare that under the FICCI and CI umbrella, when we go about it, we need to streamline which are the geographies that we will be looking at, whether it is Apollo, whether it's a Fortis, whether it's a Max, whether it's Narayana, whether it's Medica, there are so many players. Plus another thing that we have to look at is that most of the private sectors are concentrated in the major metropolis. So we are looking at, from the FICCI point and CI point of view, how do we sort of get the nursing home associations which are catered to the smaller towns and villages, which are there in the, I will call it Bharat. The metropolis is India, that is Bharat. So how do we enter Bharat? So that I think, so the major healthcare providers don't have the bandwidth. So we have to reach out to that. So as Dr. Alok rightly mentioned, we have to sort of work in unison to get about it. And I want to go back to your final, the main question that you asked on the funding modality. To be honest, that has not yet been discussed, or we have worked out that needs, that's a lot of discussion has to happen. And how do we, but we are clear on this, that we are there to partner with the government to see that we make this a success.
Absolutely. So taking the discussion forward now, Dr. Madan Gopal, there are several things that need to come together, so many aspects that need to, happen first, and only then can we see this go through successfully. For instance, there's the entire manpower issue that needs to be addressed, cold chains, storage. There's so much that needs to come together. How do we go about getting all of this done?
If you look at the scope of the work which has been given to the National Expert Group on Vaccine Administration, they are facilitating who will receive the vaccine, how the vaccine will be procured, and how it will be administered. More or less, there has been now consensus emerging about the priority groups, who will receive the vaccine first, for which whole of the preparation is going on. The ministry has the electronic vaccine intelligence network, and they are trying to advance that thing to use for COVID vaccine as well, with the guiding principle of not to compromise on the routine immunization. They have developed a beneficiary module in which the government as well as the private providers, they have been captured. They have been used. It's not that only the government will be doing, or all the government doctors, private doctors, the healthcare professionals who are there, who are the first priority list, they would be empaneled. And that beneficiary module is already being now rolled out and circulated among the different states. They are now using it. And apart from that, during the meeting which Dr. Roy and others are mentioning, saying that there has been a specific request made to these industry bodies. One thing is that if the vaccine, whichever vaccine candidates is approved and recommended by the National Technical Advisory Group, we have to find out what kind of temperature the vaccine will require. If the vaccine requires the normal temperature 2 to 8 degrees, then that's not an issue, that the existing network can take care of that. But in case the vaccine requires -20, -70 degrees, then that's a challenge. here the role comes of, here we have asked industry bodies to ask for the mapping of the cold chains so that whenever its need is there, then they can be roped in. So the second challenge is apart without compromising on the routine immunization. Now the challenge is to have the COVID vaccination, which is an adult vaccination. It's not a similar kind of thing which we do in the universal immunization program. The inoculation is different. The inoculation is challenge and require vaccinators. Where the private sector, they will come in with their capacities and the synchronization efforts can happen at that space.
Right.
The third thing is, can we utilize the other commitments of the corporates for their employees and the other groups which are not covered, but they are important for the corporates and the other persons. So that kind of thing we have to find out, okay, how we can bring them into the network of immunization. Till such time when the vaccine candidates have been identified, the procured and the administration. Lot of things are going in parallel. So the government is well prepared to at least take care of the healthcare workers. Once it is upscaled to the general population, there comes the role of this private players and the private sector. As we have witnessed during the mass immunization when we were roped in the this Rotary International kind of organization, they have supported they have made the pulse polio immunization, the polio eradication a successful thing. Sure. That kind of role is envisaged for the private sector now when the mass inoculation for the general public is open. Till such time when the healthcare workers, the frontline workers, I think the existing system is quite capable of handling these two areas. And once it comes to the general population, then we will definitely require the support of private sector, as we did with the Rotary International Exchange, which we have done with the polio immunization.